Hi, nice having you here on Data Decision. Today we're going to be creating this beautiful dashboard right on your screen. It's something very simple, easy to actually create. I'm going to show you every single thing you need to do to have all of this put together. So if you come over here to color and questions, you're going to have these particular questions we have to answer from 0 to 7 right here. Very simple. The most important part of it is actually going to be this particular one where it says, where should we invest next? And over here, we have answered the question right using this particular part right in here. And you can see what we have done is very dynamic, depends on the month we have actually selected. And this will definitely make the management to make decisions without using a guesswork. Can you see that right now? Very simple. So here comes the back end, what we have done to actually put everything together for you to actually, have something insightful to make decision for your business. So if you're a beginner, an intermediary, or an advanced user, you have a lot to learn from this particular dashboard. All you have to do is to make sure you subscribe to this particular account and follow me step by step to actually get this created. So what are you supposed to do right now? If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel before now, go ahead and do that. It's very, very important. And see you in the class. All right, everyone, welcome to this particular class. So the very first thing we're going to do right now is to look at the questions we're going to be answering with this very data you can see right now. So go over to color and questions. So over here, you can see we have 0 to 7. So the first one says KPIs value right here, down to the last one here. So we're going to be answering all of those particular questions right in here. It's something very simple. So before we start answering the questions, let us go to this particular data part. So quickly, what you're going to do right now is to Ctrl+T to convert this to a table. So over here, it has been converted. So if your own date looks like this, no problem. So all we have to do is to highlight the column and Ctrl+1, then go over to date, and that is all. Just click on OK. So right now, you have it in a right shape. Okay, so once we have this right now, we don't need to do any cleaning or transformation. Then it is time for we to start getting into our analysis. So quickly, let us go back to the colors and this part here. So the first thing we're going to do right now is to create our KPI. If you look at it, the KPIs we need to show on our dashboard is not being specified. So how do we know what are the KPIs we need to show? So if you have been analyzing data before now, it's very easy. Let's get back in here. As you can see, we have a very simple structured data. Now you have to separate your metadata from your measures. So over here, I'm going to highlight the portion that we have our metadata starting from and where it ends. So this is where our metadata starts and ends. So when we talk about metadata, we're talking about the dimensional columns, right? Or the descriptive columns that we can use to break down values. So over here, we have our measures, which is our main values, measures and numbers. Metadatas are categorical values or descriptive values like a state, a country, a product category, and stuff like that. You understand? So now let us look at what are the KPIs we can actually get from here. So over here right now, we can get almost 4 to 5 KPIs right from here. So the first KPI we can create is the quantity, then the sales amount, and now we can count how many products we're actually selling to make this particular, sales amount and the quantity we have sold for that particular numbers of products. So next again is for we to calculate the average order value. So which is actually dividing this particular number by the numbers of, transaction we have actually made over time. So it's very simple. Let us go ahead and take a look at it in a practical way. Okay. Next again is for you to actually go ahead and go to the top ribbon here, then click over the insert and go to pivot table. Then we already have an existing worksheet already, which is this analysis here. Let us drop our pivot table, then create. So now we have our pivot table already right in here. So the very first thing we want to do is to count how many transactions we've had over time. So that is very easy. You can drag any text columns right into the value area here. Automatically, the system will actually know that this is not a number. It will default it to count. So let me drag in the product into here. So if you look at it, the product gives me, 1,000, right? So if I drag in my unit price, my quantity right in here right now, the quantity is actually going to be on sum because the quantity is already formatted as a number, data format. You understand? So now, if I want to make sure the quantity now is giving me count, instead of, the summation of the total quantity sold, all I have to do is to come over here and right click and go to value field settings here. Then once we are here now, we can actually go all the way up and click on count and click on OK. Now we have the same count of the product and as well the quantity, which gives us the numbers of transactions we've had over time. So how do you verify this? It's very simple and easy. Let me show you. Go over to your data source and highlight this particular column, then look at this particular part right in here. So you can actually click on this particular top ribbon here and look at here. This gives you this. If you want to actually still prove it further, all you have to do is to do count A and highlight any column of your choice. Once you hit enter, you have this. So if you look at it, we have different number here, which is 1001. That is, you have to subtract 1 from here. So if you already understand the basic of Excel, you would have known what I've done right in here. So the reason why we do subtraction of 1 from it to get 1000 was because we highlighted the whole range. So it counted the header as part of it. You get it right now. So let's get back right in here. So right now, we don't need to actually use this one as count. Right click and take it back to sum. So we use the sum function to count, to sum the whole or aggregate the whole, quantity sold. So another KPI we can create is to bring in our sales amount right in here. With the sales amount, it's going to give us some as well, which is good. So we talked about the average order value, which is very simple. So drag the sales amount back in here. And once the sales amount is right in here, the next thing you have to do is to make sure you right click. And now you go to the same value field settings here, and you change this one to average and you click on OK. So let us highlight every single thing we have right in here, and we do comma separator. So we take off the extra decimal numbers we have right on it. So if you look at it right now, you might be thinking, how was this particular one calculated? First of all, let us look at how to change this particular header here. So if I double click right now, I can just take off this particular part. I'm going to say order value. So that is OAV. So we close. So we have gotten this right. So if I want to use sales amount right in here, if I double click on sales amount, I'm going to actually take off the sum of away from here. So if you look at it, if I click on OK, it wouldn't allow me. So it says pivot table field name already exists. So how can we trick this to make sure we can still use the same sales amount? So all we have to do right now is to click on OK, come over here and put a space, just a single space on it. And that will actually make it to get better. Okay, now we do the same thing to this particular one. Take off this one, put a space, click on OK. So over here, do the same exact thing again. You can see I've shown you a trick to actually get it done right now in case you don't know how to. You understand? Okay, now we have it compressed and it's okay, very clean and beautiful. So now we want to understand how was this calculated. Let us go over here now and put our equal sign. Take this particular sales and divide it by this particular number here and hit our enter key. And let us see what we have when we actually do the same exact formatting for it. So here we go. We have the same exact number. This is how pivot table got it done behind the scene that we cannot see. So we have just done our own calculation right now without depending on what pivot table has done. And we have the same exact number. Although we don't need it, we can take it off. Okay, right now we are actually done with this. I'm not too much satisfied with these particular numbers. I want to actually, make these numbers to be some kind of formatted into, 32. Let's say this one is actually, 32K. You understand? This is actually 10K approximately. So 1K, all of that. So this is 2 million rather. So right now, we don't have to sit down and start doing all of this all by ourselves. We can actually use AI to help us get that particular code, written for us. It's very simple. Let me show you how to use GPT to format this number without you writing a single code. So first of all, is for you to understand where this particular value is sitting. It's sitting on F8. So this is what's going to actually help us to tell GPT exactly what we want and the kind of formatting we actually want to have. So shall we? Let's try it. The best way you can do this now is to take a screenshot of what you really want to do. So I'm going to take a screenshot with Windows, Shift, and S. It's very simple and easy. Then take a screenshot from here. Make sure the headers are actually, included. Can you see now? So if you look at it now, our screenshot included this particular cell where we're going to be having our values right in. Then this very one, the F8 itself, that is the bone of contention. So let's get into GPT and paste in our screenshot. So with our screenshot here, we're going to say, so in cell F8. So be very sure of it. If you're not sure, go back again and check if that is true. So it's F8. So now, so we can even use the voice command. Click over here. In cell F8, down to, okay, let us concentrate on the cell F8. So we want to actually create a formula in F9 that can actually help us to format this into 1,000. So we want the formatting to start from 100 and stop at million. So a number formatting with a naira sign. So once we have done that, we just go ahead and so here we go. We already have it. And you can actually represent all right, we have two versions, this one and this particular one. Choose whichever one you want to go with. I think both of them will work. So copy this now and let us head up back to this particular part here. So now we can paste it right in here. So if you look at it, it's not working. All you have to do if it's not working for you, put an equal sign first, click on paste, then Ctrl V, then remove this one and hit the enter key. Now it has been done. Then go ahead and copy it around here. Can you see now? So over here, we don't need this particular, naira sign here. This is my country currency, sign. So you can use dollar, pounds, Ghana cedis, any currency at all you are using will actually work for you. So just double click on it. So this is one part of it. If you do not understand how to create this by yourself, once this AI helped you to write your function or your formula, you can't edit it. So right now we want to take off this particular part right here because we don't need it. So which is this particular one here. We're just going to take off this very one. Can you see the highlight I've just done right now? This is because I understood how to get this done without me using AI. But to fasten the whole process for me, I have to use AI. Take it off without any error. So do this again to this end, take it off. Do this again to this particular end, then you take it off. Once you hit your enter key, everything works fine. So if you're actually a beginner, you might have issue getting this done. You'll be like, oh, how can I do this? How can I take off this one? It's very simple. So now do the same thing with your country currency, whatever. If you want to use mine, that is fine. So now we have already gotten our KPIs created. This is the first question we have to answer, and the question is being answered correctly. So it is time for me to go into this particular part right now and create our dashboard. So the very first thing we have to do right away is to make sure we go over here, go to view, and from view, we turn off the formula bar, the headers, and the grid lines. So we have something as blank as this. Once we have done this, we can Ctrl A to highlight every single cells we have in this worksheet. Then let's go over to the top here, go to home, from home, click over here, and let us select this particular second color here. So we have something like this. Okay, so now let us go over to this particular color and bring up this particular one. Okay, just copy this one and use it. So drop it over here, keep it somewhere around here. If need be, bring it over here. And now we bring it down to this level. Okay, so we can adjust it later after all, no problem. So we already have something like this. All right, so once we have gotten this done, so the next thing we have to do is to go back and understand how many KPIs we have. We have 4 different KPIs. So for the 4 different KPIs that we have, we need to create 4 different cards for it. So we go over to this particular part here and we just go to shapes and we'll take this one with rounded corner. We just drag it down for the time being. So once we have done this now, we have to actually make sure we change the colors. You get it right now. So here we go. We have all our colors here. Let us go ahead and copy all those colors so that we can see it physically right on our dashboard environment. So paste it down. So go to Control 1. With my Control 1, go to line area and say no line. So with no line now, we just have to use gradient, fill right here. So if you look at it now, my gradient fill has already filled this up for me. So which is the first color? So if you look at it right now, I'm using this particular color over here. Then this particular color is this very color over here. So the positioning is actually the problem, which is the direction. So choose this particular, you can see different direction we have right in here. It's all a choice. Do your design anyhow you like, whatever it is. Just make sure it gives you something very nice and use the same exact color. So we have gotten this particular first one. The next thing we have to do right now is to just go over here and position it right in here. Somewhere around here. Bring it down a little bit. Okay. So before this now, duplicate this particular one and now change it onto solid. Once you change to solid, make sure you're using this particular color. So go ahead and bring this one over here. Then take this one up. Then the rounded corner should be clear. No rounded corner, just make it flat. So here we go. We're going to use this one for a sidebar, very importantly. So now we're going to shift this particular one over here. So, and make sure there's a space between it. We call it a white space. So the rounded corner shouldn't be too much. Just reduce it a little bit. So something like this looks perfectly okay. First of all, let us go ahead and duplicate this. Keep this over here. So into 4 places. So this one now will give us a lot of gap. So for that, I'm going to just go ahead and increase this particular one. So now we can duplicate. So here we go. I think we still have enough space. So you have to do this over and over again until you're satisfied with what you have. Increase. So now I think we should be okay. Okay, fine. So take this one and keep it over here. Make sure that particular white space is actually here as well. So hold your Control key to select all of them. So the very first thing you have to do right now is to go all the way to the top ribbon, then click over Align, then Align to the top. Then go over to Align again, Distribute horizontally. So that is when you see this particular space right here this way. Can you see it now? So we're not done yet. Let us click on this particular one. So while we are here, we just have to make sure this particular color is copied. Make sure you copy this particular color here. So once copied now, click on this one and go over to this particular color. This is the color you just have to change, this very color here. So, and here we go. We have something like this. Then the next one is going to be this very one here. We have to change this particular color as well. So the color we want to use on this particular one now should be, I'm thinking, okay, we are using 4. Let me see. Oh, I'm sorry. We don't have to use 4. Let's go ahead and take it off and adjust it a little bit. So this one should be cool for what we need. So we have to use 5 KPIs. So the 5 KPIs are completed. So we just have to make sure we hold our Control key, go to the top ribbon, align, go here, align top, go here, distribute horizontally. So we now have the 5 KPIs. So we already have the 5. So now this is where we have to just quickly make a change of it. So I would love to start with this particular one. This blue color here is what I'm going to change right now. So go over here and change this one to the blue color. I already have it. Then this one now, I'm going to change it to the green color. So click over here. So this particular one here, I'm going to change it. I'm going to leave it at this particular one. Then bring this one to the same blue color as well. So this is how I got this created. I think I have one more. So this here, then take this one back again to the same blue color. Okay, nicely done. We have something like this, beautiful. So the next thing we have to do right now is to get this one gone. So delete these particular ones from here. So once you have this one deleted, then let's go over to the top here. Go to Insert, go to Illustrations, Shapes, and the circle here. Hold your Control key to make sure, Shift key rather, to make sure you have a nice circle like this. Then release it. So bring it over to this particular part. So once you're cool with what you have, Control 1, and this time around, take off the outline, no line, then come over here and select this particular, blue color here. Then once you have done that, now we have to drop the opacity or the transparency rather, like this. So the transparency to 51 or 50%, whatever you really feel like. So once you have done that now, the next thing we have to do is to duplicate it and keep this particular one over here. So we do it for others. So right now we have to match it with their colors. So match it with this particular color here. So match this one is okay. So match this one with this particular color over here. This is beautiful. So we're going to take this particular one and move it to this particular part. So once I've done this right now, on this one, I'm going to release it. So it's going to give me full color. That is okay. So right now it is time for me to create the icons we want to use for it. So if you are using a version that does not have the icons we want to use over here, let me take you to a website that can actually give you icons. So go over here to flaticon.com. So on flaticon.com, you can get several icons you can use. So all you have to do is to do the search of the icon you want to use, and it will definitely give you that. So I think my network is slow right now. So it's called flaticon.com. It's opening. So let's get back to Excel. So while we are here, we just have to come over to this particular part, go to Insert, go to Illustrations, and click on Icons. So all you have to do is to search for trend. So you're going to see different, icons you can use for your trend. So pick up any one of them that you really feel like you want to use. So right now I'm going to go with something like this, and I have more that are not here. So we can actually search for chart as well. So just go ahead and search for charts. So here we go. We have more charts. So we have taken 4 of them now. So let's take more. Let's go with this one here, and probably this particular one. Okay. So what we need to do right now is to search for house. So here we go. I'm going to go with this particular one as well. So if you take this off, which is if you clear this search, you can actually pick any other thing you want to pick. You understand, by not searching. But if you have anything in mind, you can search for it. So there are so many things you can actually get from here. So let me just get some random ones here like this, then click on OK. So coming back to this particular website here, so you can see Flaticon has opened. You can actually search for any icons you want to use right from here and download it. It's 100% free. Okay, so we have all of those icons here. The next thing we have to do right now is to separate them and start getting them into where we want to have them right in. Okay, so the very first one I want to go with right now is this particular one here. Let's go ahead and put it right inside here. This is our home, the home page. So it means the home page. So this particular one here is going to be for our product. So let's make it smaller and keep this one for our product. All right, to now have all our icons, the next thing we have to do right now is to change your colors. So click over here and make sure you hold your Control key to select all of the icons you have. So once selected, just go ahead and click on this particular part here and choose any color of your choice. I don't want something very bright. I'm going to just go with something as, little dim this. Okay, now I enjoy this. So because this one is actually the home page, which is going to be this very brighter color here. On this one, it's going to be hidden. So I'm going to choose this very one that is a bit brighter, but not as bright as others. So make it smaller. Okay, now this is what it is. Over here, I'm going to just come down. This one here is going to control our data or our analysis page. We just have to navigate through by clicking over here. So let us keep this one at 50%. So something like this is cool. So we now drop this on top of it. So now we have all of this here. The next thing we have to do is to go all the way up here, go to insert, and over here, we just go ahead and click on this, and here we go. So total sales. So with our total sales here, we just have to make sure we crank it up a little bit. Something like this looks perfectly okay. So let's go with 18, and we change it to this color. So we just have to make sure we align it properly to where it should be. So now, no outline. We've taken off the outline. No fill color. So adjust it. So this color seems cool, but we just have to crank it up a little bit. Okay, nicely done. So we want to change the color to make it a little bit darker. Let's go with this particular one. So we have to duplicate this for others. All right, as you can see, I have changed all of the names to match every single KPIs I have. So the next thing you have to do is to make sure you select all of those particular, KPI names right in here. Once you have this plus sign, drag it down by holding your control key to actually create a duplicate of it, right? It's very important. So release it. So now, very easy. So let us go over to the top ribbon. Now go over to view. From view, click on formula bar, and right here equals, let's go ahead and pick it up. So we go over to analysis and pick up our total sales. So which is going to be this one here. So no, it has not worked. Do it again. It came to the wrong place. So we have to select this particular one, or equal sign. We do this, we bring in our total sales. So we go over here, we bring in quantity. So we have brought all of those ones here. The next thing we have to do right now is to make sure we change the sizes of every single one of them, and as well the colors. So we go over here, we just have to crank it up to 20 something. Let's go with 20, let's go with 28. Now we have to make it brighter. So we select this particular one here. This actually helps us to make it stand out. So we have one left. That particular one, we have not created anything for it, which is the numbers of products that we are selling. So how do we do that? It's something very simple. So right away, if anyone is closer to this particular circle, which is the icons here, we can hold our control key, select them, and we move them backward. Can you see that now? So just do this, and it's going to be very easy for you to maintain them and make them to sit rightly. You understand? So now let's go over to our pivot table environment analysis. So right away, I'm going to copy this particular portion. This is our pivot table. We don't have to create, from the scratch again. So copy, and over here, you paste it. So once you pasted this here, let's go over here and drag everything away from here. We don't want anything. So drag this particular one away. So we have a blank pivot table right now, right here. So what we need to do right away is to bring in our product. So now this is not giving us count. If we want to get count, we can bring it over here and to give us numbers of these products sold for each of the products right in here. The numbers of transaction we've had over them, right? But this is not making sense. All we want is to see how many products are we selling. So there is no default way to calculate that in here. So what we can do right now is to just say over here, will be like numbers of products sold. So to get that done now, we use count A. So count A now can count this particular portion for us. So why am I selecting the whole range? So that when we have more products to come, it will be able to actually accommodate it without we coming over here to update it, one after the other. I'm going to do -1. So to take off this particular header, don't worry about this one. We can get rid of this one with ease. So if I hit my enter key now, it's 11 and the total number is 10. So right away, I'm going to click over here. So once you click over the pivot table, go over here. Now click on design. Let's go to grand total, turn it off. Over here, show in tabular form. So now I have the product here. So it's only giving us this particular count. So if I have something going on here right now, can you see? It's actually adding up. So that was why I selected a particular range so that it could actually give me, whenever I have new products, it will actually update numbers for me. So right now I have my number. I can go over here now and update my KPI. It's something very simple. So 10 products. So just click on this one, go over here, click on this one, and here we go. We have something like this. So select both of them and shift them to go away from the circle. All right, this is how we got this particular part of the dashboard created, and it is something very simple. And I believe you have actually created this. If you have not, just spend some time on this one before we get into the next one. So let me know what you feel about this particular video right now. Your comment always makes me to feel like I should do more and upload quickly for you guys to learn something new. So what are you doing? Go ahead and leave a comment. Just write anything in the comment section. It's very important. Your like, your share, and if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do that right now. So let us get back into the class. Now it is time to delve into the next question, which is going to be this very one here, where it says, where is the money coming from? Okay, where is the money coming from? Nice question. So what are we going to do? Let's go over to analysis page. Quickly, let us go ahead and copy this particular pivot table right in here and paste it right over here. So once we have done this right now, the question is, where is the money coming from? Let us do this product wise, which means we have to analyze it based on products. So I'm going to put in here the sales amount, and we have something like this. So this would have answered the question, but not holistically. So we have to make sure we create something more professional than something just pretty basic, like somebody who just learned Excel yesterday. So what are we supposed to do? We have this right now. So we want to highlight the top 2 products inside our chart, and we want to add insight to it, which means we have to write something a little bit than what we have just created right now. So to get that done right now, very easy, put an equal sign here and select this whole range. We call it an array. So we have this created for us. So which means this is going to be where we create our chart right from. So over here now, I'm going to just type in max 2. Max 2. So to make it descriptive, let us call this one top 2 products. So very easy. This is what you can do. So to get the top 2 products right now, because of the kind of analysis we want to make, let us actually take it step at a time. So there is a way I can do it. I'll just write 1 or 2, but let us make it, from the hierarchy. So the very first I'm going to do right now is to first of all say, get 2 max. Max value. So 1, 2, right? So what are we going to get? What are we going to use? We use function called large right in here. Can you see? So name of top products. So this will make you to understand what I'm doing. You can see I'm creating a table right now. Okay, now we're going to extract the largest numbers from here. So first of all, let us go over here and right click and sort from largest to smallest. So this does not concern what we want to do. This is just to make sure our chart is being ranked, right? So now over here, I'm going to use the large function. You already know. The large function is looking for an array. So put a comma on it and say, give me the first largest number. So if I hit my enter key right now, I have made a silly mistake. So if I go over here and drag it down, this is not the second largest. So if I double click, you can see why it's moving. So what would I have done to prevent it from moving? Double click over here and select this whole area here, your F4 key to lock it down. If your F4 key is not doing that for you, manually place a $sign here. After this particular, column, letter here, put under, 1 before the row number. Do that for the other one as well. So with that, if I just go ahead and copy this down, we're not losing it. So we have it. So the next thing we have to do right now is that which products are those two products here? So let us extract it. So please, we're going to be using this particular style to do things a lot. So pay attention right in here for you to understand how I got it achieved. So put an equal sign and use the index function over here. So the index function is asking for an array. So the array right now is exactly what we want to retrieve. So we want to retrieve something from here. So put a comma on it. So before we put a comma on it, F4 key to lock it down because we don't want to move if we copy down. So now put a comma on it. So it's asking for row number. So if you look at it right now, we can say give us from here or from here, which is 1 and 2. But we want to actually use match function to find the row number ourselves. So I'm not going to teach you elementary knowledge of Excel here, but if you already have the little knowledge of Excel, you understand what I'm doing right now. So match over here. So the match is looking for the lookup value. So go ahead and take this number. Then let's go over here. The lookup array right now is now asking you, where can I find this particular number here? You now say, come over here and search for it. So under F4 key again. So put a comma on it and give us exact match 0. So you close twice. So let me copy this portion of the match function to show you what it is later after all. So I've copied it. So right now we can go ahead and hit our enter key right now. So copy this down. So track it. Let's see. Is it moving? Yes, we have one that we have not locked properly. Which one is that? Let's go all the way up here. So we have locked. Yes. So when we come down here, what is wrong with this? I thought I locked it. So let's do here. This is it. So I don't know, we locked it partially. So let us place under 1. You can see what I've done now. That should have fixed it. So right away, I have the right one. So because those particular top one here, they are the max value. We have gotten them right. So if I now place in the one I've copied, the match function I've copied, and I just go ahead and do this now. Can you see? Let us look at it. So this is match function. This match function is looking for this particular one and it's checking which position is it sitting right in here. It is sitting in the first position. This one here is sitting in the second position. It retrieves that and it helped us to retrieve what is sitting right in here. If you are new to Excel, this is exactly what you need to learn. So please subscribe right now if you have not done that. So go ahead and actually leave a comment. Let me know what you feel about my tutorials and what I should improve on. It's very important. Let us get back into it. Okay, why do we have all of this? That is your question. So the next thing I'm going to have right now is going to be all sales. So for my all sales here, I'm going to put an equal sign and use the sum function and go ahead and do this. So another thing I can do if I don't want to do this for my all sales, I am going to come over to my KPI here to always reference this as my all sales. So what will I do? I'm going to come over to this particular part here. Can you see where I am right now? Let me show you. Here, this particular portion. So I'm going to name this particular cell now. Then I can reuse this cell over and over again without referencing this particular cell, but just the name. So now select the cell with the value. So put here all underscore sales. Hit the enter key. Okay. So right now, if I now come over here under all sales here, I'll put an equal sign. I'll put all sales. If I hit my enter key, it will give me the values of all sales. Check it out. Can you see it now? Okay, we have gotten this right now. Let us do top products percentage contribution. So what is the percentage contribution of the top two products, which is this particular two products right in here? So it's very easy. It's for you to take this particular two here, sum function to sum up these particular two values in here, close it, and divide it by all sales. Can you see it now? Instead you reference this, or you call all sales. So very easy. So next is for you to control one and go to percentage formatting and just click on OK. So 63%. So remember, we're actually trying to answer this very question. Where is the money coming from? So that is what we are doing right now. So let's get back here. So now over here, we're going to do, we have actually answered the question already, which is this particular question has been answered already. The next question we're about to answer right now is this particular one. And that was why we are doing all the analysis we are doing. So I'm going to paste this one over here. So it says, which products should we focus on? That was why we did all this analysis right in here. For the first question, this chart alone has answered it. And we're going to do something over here right now. But before then, let us focus on this particular one. So what are we doing here? So over here right now, we want to say equals. So now we're going to say sales are highly concentrated in, so close ampersand here to concatenate, something into it. So what are we going to actually add to it? What are we going to add into it right now is going to be rice over here. So sales are highly concentrated in rice. Now ampersand, we now use the AND function here. So always give a space, and space, and that ampersand here, then we reference chicken. So remember, rice and chicken are dynamic, depends on the slicer that is actually on at that particular time. So it can actually change to something different like milk, sugar, tomato, bread, soft drink, or whatsoever. You get it right now. So right now, I'm done. I'm going to actually close and put a space on it. So add a comma, space, so which together account for, now close ampersand again. So this time around, it is time for me to use our percentage, right? So to use our percentage right now, we need to use the text function. Yeah. Sure, yeah. Now, text function. So we have actually flopped somewhere. Let's see. If you see it phrased, which simply means that you no longer see the highlight of the formula, that simply means you have actually done something wrong somewhere. Let's find out where it is. Okay, can somebody tell me where the problem is right now? From the starting point of our, analysis here, we ought to have open this. Can you see now? It has actually fixed it for us. So over here now, I can actually go ahead and put an ampersand here and use the text function over here. So the text function will help us to format this. So click on this particular one and just do comma, then 0.0%. Then close it. Then use that ampersand here and do off. So no, not ready yet. Sorry for that. So we're going to do off total sales across. So across what? Now, let's go over here. It's going to be numbers of products, which we have not actually done. So we're going to actually put here an ampersand. Then we now reference this particular cell. It's blank for now, but don't worry, we can fix it. So we put another ampersand here. We put products, full stop. So hit our enter key. So right now, if you want to take a look at everything, let us see what we have by going over here, go to illustrations, go to over here. So click on this, drag it down here. Let us quickly reference this and this one. So over here it says sales are highly concentrated in rice, 5 kg and chicken, which together accounted for 63.2% of total sales across product. So over here, what we're going to do right now is to reference the numbers of products. We can actually go ahead and type it in. So which means we can come over here, very easy. So over here, which is this particular cell here, and just say hash products. Okay, it's not allowing us to use the hash key. So total underscore products. So now we can quickly shift back to the same place like this over here. And over here now, we can just do total equals total products. So once I've done that, it will actually update this for me. So now I have 10 here because 10 is actually reflecting right in here. Can you see the logic right now? Very simple. So we have all of this right away. The next thing we have to do is to make sure we actually go to our dashboard environment and start getting things done right in here. So what are we supposed to do? I can just go ahead and duplicate this one here, then bring it over here. Now we can Ctrl 1 and say solid line. We choose to use pure white like this. No other color on it. So once we have this, let me just go ahead and close this now. So we can have the nice spacing. So I'm going to bring it. So we're going to have a white space at the bottom. So bring it up. So I'm going to have a white space at this particular part here. It's very important. So the rounded corner shouldn't be too much. Just open it up like this. The next thing I'm going to do right now is that if you look at it, I actually purposely shifted it to this particular part to have this particular white space. It's very easy. So hold your control key and select this particular top one here. Once I've done that, go over here, go to shape format, go to align to the left. Now it gives you proper alignment without you guessing if it is well aligned or not. So can you see what I've done right now? So just take this particular same way to get it done. It's very important. So once you have done this right now, let us just go ahead and make it this way. Okay, now this is where our chart will actually come. So right away, I'm going to just go ahead and make it this way. I think this particular part should be okay for it. So once we have this now, we can now go ahead to analysis. And over here, we want to bring in our top two. So what we can do now is to use if this particular one here, F4 key to lock it down. Then if it is equals to this particular one, then give us this one. Otherwise, if this one here, F4 key to lock it down, if it is equals to this particular one, then go ahead and give us this one. Otherwise, give us blank. So let's try it and see. So let us go ahead and copy this down. So we only have it at where we have them to be equal to what we have sitting right in here. That is beautiful. If I double click over here right now, it's actually static to this particular part here. Okay, we have this, we can select this range, go to the top ribbon, go to insert, and we click, and this is the chart we want to use. Click on OK. So now we have something like this. So let us take off this particular part here, take off this part here. So this particular top two products here, we want to leave it. This is the month, we want to leave it as a legend. But right now, we want to make sure we customize our legend. So how do we do that? So our legend right now, we're going to come over here and turn this particular one to orders. orders. So for a reason. So this particular one here, we change this one to just top. So it will serve as a legend for us. So once we have done this right now, the next thing we have to do is to click over this particular part here, this axis. So let's go over to here, click over here, go to this particular option, then go ahead and click on this particular category in reverse order. So you have this. Have you done that? Let me wait for you. Let's try it now and let me see. Has it worked? Okay, fine. If it has worked for you, let's go. If it has not worked, pause and go back again and rewatch it. So now click on this particular part here. Then let's go ahead and close the gap a little bit. So now go ahead and overlap it by doing this particular one. Have you done that? On the overlap, take the slide to the right-hand corner. So let me know if it has worked. I believe it has worked. Okay, now we have to change the color of this particular one here. So click over here. Let's click over here. With this color, we can actually use it for the max. Oh, sorry. Ctrl Z. So make sure when doing this, just click once. Don't double click, otherwise it will only highlight one for you. So go over here, click over here and select this color. Now on this particular one, we want to select a particular color that will actually give us, the opposite side. Let's do something a bit brighter. So I think something like this looks perfectly okay. Now, okay, next again is for the legend. I don't want the legend at the bottom. Is it okay? Okay, let's try it at the bottom. So now, here we go. Okay, this is where the magic comes in. The next thing we want to do right now is to go ahead and put number formatting right on it. So the number formatting should actually be right here. If I want to actually add more column now, Ctrl+Shift+sign will add more column for me. So I just added one column to actually have the formatting. So I'm going to put here formatting. Okay, so to get my formatting right now is very easy. I go over here. I just double click on this particular part and double click, copy. It has been copied. So let's get back to here. So once we are here, we paste it down. So you can do equals before you paste, then remove one equals to make sure it picks it. So right now, double click on it and on this one, highlight it and reference this particular one. The easiest way to actually have it done for others is to copy, then quickly double click on this one and paste what you have copied. It will actually start looking at that particular cell now. So if I hit my enter key, I can now go ahead and have it copied down. Can you see it now? So very nice. Okay, it is time to start working on our chart. Let us bring it up. So over here now, we just have to click on this particular one, not these two here. Click on this one and click over here and click on data label. So once you have done that, click over here and go to more options. So click over here now and select this particular environment here. So once you have done that, click on OK and turn off value. So now you have something as short as this. This is why this kind of formatting makes a lot of sense. So if you're doing this for the first time, just hit the like button right now and the comment section is your friend. Let me know. Okay, now we have this. We just have to turn off the grid lines. We don't want it. So we want to have the legend as well. Keep it. So Ctrl X to cut it. And over here, we just have to Ctrl V to paste it down here. So while we are here, we position it rightly. We bring it all the way down a bit. So we open it up. So we come over here. We just go over to the top here. Let us use something like 12. So this particular part as well, we need to increase it. The same 12 looks okay. So everything pops out very well the way it should be. So let us go ahead and copy this particular one. Ctrl D to copy. And over here, we need to have a title right on it. So what should be title for this? So we have just renamed the title to Revenue Contribution by Product. And here we go. We have our title here. So the next thing we have to do is to take off the outline and the fill color for our chart. So we have something that looks like this. So for the legend, it's not showing up very well. We have to go all the way back here, and the legend should actually pop. Let us use the same 12 for the legend. So this is nice, right? So we just have to make sure we bring this down a little bit. Okay, nicely done. So we can actually go ahead and copy this very one here. Ctrl D to duplicate. And the one that we have duplicated should actually come down here. So this is what we're going to be using. So let us go ahead and turn on the formula bar. So go over here and let's get to where we have written the insight right in. This is it here. Okay. So once you have gotten this now, we can come over here. I want to make it italic. So increase the size. Something like this looks perfectly okay. So I don't want it to actually look too bright. So it shouldn't be on focus. Something like this looks perfectly okay. I can bring it down. So now our first chart is completed. So let us look at the question being asked. The question here says, where is the money coming from? So let us see the first. So revenue contribution by product. Over here now we can see the highlight here that says top. The top here actually tells the end users that those highlighted one at the top are the places where our main money is coming from, then followed by the others. Then the second question we have answered right now with the chart is actually which product should we focus on? So over here now, if you look at it, we now say, as you can see over here, we say sales are highly concentrated in rice and chicken. And I told you that this depends on the slicer that is on, based on the year, based on the date, based on the category or the location. So it's going to change. So it's something very dynamic. We are not creating static dashboard, but a dynamic dashboard. Is this ringing a bell right now? So use this comment section to tell me if we have made any mistake. We can always correct it. It's very important. Let us get back to the class. Let us look at what is next. When we come over here, we now have which region is underperforming. So this is tricky. You don't just have to extract that particular region. You have to make use of your sense to actually create something that will actually give the end users, an insight. Okay, let us quickly go over to here. So we can now copy this particular one alongside with the format. So once copied now, we go straight up to this particular part here and we paste it over here. So now all we have to do is to tick off our product and bring in our region. So once we have done that, we wipe off this particular part. It's not really important. Okay, with this right now, we just have to create something similar to what we have done before. But this one now is much more easier. It's not as complex as the previous one because we are only going to highlight one particular portion of it. So quickly, all we need to do is to just go ahead and highlight this particular part. And over here, we just have to make sure we right click and we do sort largest to smallest, right? So there is something somebody was asking me via a direct message on my business or WhatsApp on this particular platform. So let me quickly show you. When you want to show zero at when you don't have value for Lagos, what do? I think if you right click over here, you see we have this particular pivot table option here. So please come here and explore those particular options. So when a cell contains error, what do you want to actually show over there? You want to show zero over there, if that is what you want. So when a cell contains an empty cell or an empty stuff, no any value, show zero. Can you see what I've done right now? So if you go to data right now, we have other options right in here. Can you see? What to display? There are several options you can use right in here. You understand? So those options here, they are very important. It's not something you have to ignore. So we have just clicked on OK because we don't have any of the issues, so no problem. So let us right click on this particular dimension area. So this time around, we go to field settings. So while we are here, we click on layout and print. So now over here, show item with no data. This show item with no data simply means now, if you click on OK, if there's a filter that does not include Abuja and Lagos to have any revenue, then what will happen now will be that Abuja and Lagos will be here and 0 will be right in here. Otherwise, if you don't turn on that particular part, it will actually make Abuja and Lagos to disappear, and you're going to have issue with this particular chart you have created. That was why I have shown you this. It's very important. Please make use of it. You get it right now. Okay, enough of that. So now that we have done that right now, we have actually sorted it right here. So all I'm going to do right now is to say, I'm going to do here under performing. Right? Underperforming. So over here, I just have order. I'm going to say order sales. Order sales right now. Very important. So on this particular part here, what I want to do right now is to get the underperforming, region. So it's easy. Use the mean function to return mean from here. So the mean is actually on the wrong place. So what do I need to do? I want to make sure the mean, which is going to be this particular value here, should actually be right in here. So what are we supposed to do? Double click and use the if function. So if this particular one here is equals this one, then give me this one. Otherwise, give me nothing. Then close and hit enter key. Now it's nothing. If I go ahead and click and copy down now, it has given me this one. But unfortunately, it's moving down, which means we don't make sense from the top. So let us go ahead and make sense out of it. So double click over here and over here, highlight this particular option and the F4 key to lock it down, hit the enter key. So right now, so the mean is here without shifting. So we have gotten this done. So quickly, all we have to do is to just go ahead and create something similar to what we have created before. Insert here, and we go with this. Oh no, sorry. Okay, in this situation, we don't have to be specific on the kind of chart we want to use. So let us go ahead and use recommended chart. In that way, we're gonna have something like this, and it's cool. So here we go, we have it. So we just have to take off this one, take off this particular part here. This particular part should be left because we want to use this one to tell people that this is the location that is underperforming, because the color will definitely match this very one. Okay, select this one and Control 1. So once you have done that, overlap it quickly. So once you have overlapped it, you just have to make sure you close the gap a little bit. Something like this looks perfectly okay. So once done now, the next thing we have to do is to make sure this underperforming part here should have its different color. So let's go with this particular color here. So the color has reflected under the legend. Then on this one, we have to select the same exact color we have used previously, which is going to be, I think it's going to be this one here. I'm not too sure about that. So let us go over to our dashboard environment and select this particular color. So let us come over here now and click over here, and that will highlight this particular color for us. Can you see now? This is the color. Okay, let's see if we can get it right. So here we go, here we go. Go back here. I think this is the one. So let's go. Let us now move away from here. But before we move away from here, click on this one. We are still going to get it right. So let us go over to this particular part. Turn on data label. So click over here. Select this part. Option. This. Now, select this area. Okay. Now turn on the value. Turn off the value rather. So we have this. So once we have this now, Ctrl X to copy. So we have to take it up to this particular part. So we are here. So we have not gotten it right. So we just have to select this one. We have to go over here and we have to select this third one here. So let me be sure. Click over here again. That is 100% correct. So we now have the same exact thing. Okay, the next thing we need to have right now is to just go over here. So make sure you put it on 12. So we go over here, we put this on 12 as well. So the legend should actually pop. So we'll put the legend on 12. So remember, all I'm doing right now is based on my screen size, right? So don't do the same exact thing I'm doing. So do whatever suits the kind of screen that you have. So you might have more higher number to have it pop, or the number should be lower to not to have it too popped. You understand? So make sure you fit it to the kind of screen that you have. You understand? It's very important. Okay. Once I've gotten this done now, we have just answered one question. But what is the contribution of this particular Lagos? And remember, Lagos can change to Kano, to Port Harcourt, to Abuja. That depends on the slicer that is actually turned on. Now let us go over here and duplicate this shape. So make sure you right click and send to back so that it can go behind the chart itself. So take off the chart now and keep it right in here. So this time around, I'm going to keep this over here, bring it all the way down for a reason. Once you have done that, you can actually go ahead and hold your control key to select this particular one. Go to the top and shape format, align to the top. That will actually give you nice alignment over here. It's very important. Okay, nicely done. The next thing we have to do right away is for we to actually quickly go ahead and bring this on top of it right in here and align it properly. So I'm going to take this one up. So we have some outline, grid lines, and we come over here, no fill, no border. So we have taken them off. So we just have to actually get in here our chart title. So I'm going to reduce this one to something like 16. So that is going to be okay. So duplicate it and actually take the duplicate one. So the duplicated one should actually come over here. All right, here we go. We can just go ahead and click here and bring it down a little bit. Nicely done. So now over here, I'm going to just take this one all the way up like this. So we're going to have here something like this. Duplicate this one and bring it up right into this particular part. Okay, now how do we go ahead and get this done? It's very important. Make sure your work is always saved, because maybe your system shut down or something happened and the Excel just closes. So you need to actually have it recovered. Make sure you save your work. And now you have to save me. Let us tell the algorithm that this particular tutorial is very important. Like the video and leave a comment. If you have not subscribed, you have to do that right now. It's just free. Please do that for me. Okay, let's go ahead and do something very cool right in here that will actually be able to make the chart to have much more relevance. Because to me, the chart is just too plain, like too ordinary. So the very first thing I'm going to do over here now is going to be me taking up the top region. I presume, I'm thinking. Let me think. So not top region, we're going to do lowest region. So first of all, we extract the value. Next, we extract the region itself. Next again, we bring all sales. Next again, we bring PCT of contribution. So let us bring all of this here. The value now is going to be using mean to get the mean value from here. So we already got that now. So the region now is using index. I can actually be faster than what I've done before now, because already we have done this. So highlight this particular environment. So we don't need to lock it down because we're not going to copy down. We can leave it this way. So using the match function, which I've shown you previously how to get it done. So reference this particular one. And where can we find that number? Over here. So 0, we close, and hit our enter key. That is Lagos. So now we already have all sales. We bring it on right in here. So for we to actually create our contributed percentage right now, how do we do that? It's going to be you taking this particular one here, divided by this very one. And once we've done that, we just do Ctrl-1 and we come over here, we have the percentage. All right, so once I've done this right now, it is time for you to start writing what is important right now for you to get exactly what we really want. So over here, I'm going to put my equal sign and reference this particular location here, and with an ampersand here. So I'm going to say, okay, now is the lowest performing region, comma, contributing. So over here now, we want to actually get the percentage. So we have to use the text function here. Text function. So reference this, comma, 0.0%. Just one decimal number, that is what we want. So once we've done that, we close this and we do an under ampersand again. So put a space on it and of total revenue. That is all we need to do. So once we have done that, we just come over here, we reference this one, we come over to this particular part, we reference, we go back over here, we click and hit the enter key. So click on this particular one here and we want to use italic. So go over here. Can you see now? So this is what we want to have. We've just gotten this one down here. Can you see it now? Beautiful. So completed. So if we go back to the question and take a look at what we have actually, done. So which region is underperforming? Now we can see we have highlighted that particular region, which is Lagos is underperforming, and we have actually tell what is the percentage contribution, of Lagos to the overall total sales. Think about it. So we have an error here. Let's just take off R. Okay, we have this right now. So if you have not gotten here, please pause it and go back and redo it and make sure you get exactly what I've gotten right now, because this is going to help you to know how to actually answer business questions when it comes to you analyzing data using Microsoft Excel. It's something very simple and very easy. If you have not checked my homepage out to see the tutorials I have over here in this particular channel, please do that right now. Excel and Power BI, we have over 400 videos right in here, and please do me a favor to subscribe and get me to 100,000 subscribers quickly. And if you have already subscribed to this particular channel, the next thing you have to do right now for me is to make sure you share this video, like, comment. Specifically, your comment is very, very important because it triggers the algorithm to actually push this particular content to others. So thank you. Let's just get into the class.